Thank you. Hey. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Leicester. You know, they say, never begin any speech with an apology. But you know, we advertised this event for our East Midlands members. Within 48 hours, all the tickets had gone. And so I apologize to all those people who couldn't get in here. And that's before 50,000 people joined the party in the last 2 weeks of December. We're going to need bigger venues for the future, of that there is no doubt. And we're not only growing quickly, but you can feel the energy. You can feel the optimism. We are so far away from the Uni-party, which is Labour and Conservative. I mean, look at Starmer and Reeves. I mean, they look like they're going to a family funeral every day. And as for the Conservative leader, well, I'll come to that in a moment, actually. I've got to tell you, the last few weeks have been really exciting. It was a very tough phone call on the 23rd of December when I said to the young team in our London office, I'm really sorry, guys, but I think Christmas is cancelled. And they rose to the challenge. They were in the office till 10 o'clock on Christmas Day night, getting graphics, getting videos ready, because I just knew that over the Christmas Day and Boxing Day period, people would be sitting around the table, lunch or dinner, with family, with friends, down the pub, wherever they went, and reform would be a topic of conversation. I was confident that we would, on Boxing Day, go through the number of ballot papers that the Conservative Party sent out in their leadership election last year, and we did it on Boxing Day, and we've gone on 35,000 members more since Boxing Day alone. It is something we can be very proud of, something we can celebrate, but let's keep it going. Now, all of that was wonderful until about 5 o'clock on Boxing Day afternoon, when a certain individual decided to take to X and put together a complex 5 series of tweets with misspellings and ranting conspiracy theory. Now, the person that put these messages together that said that the Reform live membership ticker, have you been watching the Reform live membership ticker? I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to find out how we're doing. No, some wild ranting conspiracy theorist put out on X that somehow we'd fiddled the numbers and that these were all fake members. And the extraordinary thing is the person who did this, whether they were in wine or not, I don't know, but the person who did this was the leader of the Conservative Party, one Kemi Badenoch. Now, I don't take kindly to being accused of being dishonest. You can call me many things, and people do, and that's fine. Call me dishonest. I'm not, and I never, ever have been, and I won't put up with it, and I won't take it, and nor should any of you. So, I gave her an opportunity to apologize for what has now been thoroughly disproven in the media, and she's chosen not to take the opportunity. Although that's not surprising, she's not exactly known for her charm. So what to do? What to do? Well, it's all well and good saying sewer, But you have to prove actual harm. She hasn't harmed us. She's given us tens of thousands more members. But what I am going to do, and isn't it delightful that the Eastern Region Conference tomorrow takes place at Chelmsford Racecourse, which happens to be in her parliamentary constituency, which is good. And better than that, on the 31st of this month, we've booked a big venue, and I'm going to invite all our members and supporters in North West Essex to come along, to meet me, to have a photograph. And we already have 800 supporters in her constituency, nearly 400 of whom have signed up as members. And we'll do a big joint photograph, and I'll tell Akemi, not only are these not fake members, but we're now going to make this a target constituency for the next general election. You had your chance. You accused me of being dishonest. You had your chance to apologize. Well, now the gloves are off. So why is it that this party is on the up the way that it is? Why is it there is the optimism in this room? It's because we all know that Britain is broken and Britain needs reform. We know it. We feel it. And we understand it at every level. 37,000 young men crossed the English Channel last year. Nearly all undocumented young males coming straight into four-star hotels with 40 quid a week pocket money, free dental care, free medical care, whilst British military veterans sleep homeless on our streets. It is wrong, it is outrageous, it is appalling, and yet, now this will amaze you. Of all of those that came illegally in 2023, the last year for which we have figures, of all the illegals and asylum seeker claims, only 30% crossed the English Channel. Where did the other 70% come from? Well, a friend of mine has written to the Home Office. They won't give an answer unless we submit a cheque for 600 quid. The government will not give us the true figures. Well, we know it's not just on the back of lorries. It's people coming on visas and overstaying. We are being taken for a ride at every level. And until we can deport those that should not be in our country, until we can do that, and we'll never do that, being signed up to a convention for an outdated court in Strasbourg, we have to leave the ECHR and get rid of those that should not be here. And we've got the courage to say that. We've got the courage to do that, and frankly, nobody else does. And on legal immigration numbers, well, the party that promised us repeatedly net migration of tens of thousands a year in 2023 gave us net migration of nearly 1 million. And it's my view that the population explosion of 10 million, more than 10 million, in the last 20 years is the biggest contributor to our diminishing quality of life. We cannot get access to health care. Our children and grandchildren cannot get onto the housing ladder. The traffic is impossible. Nothing works anymore. There's no infrastructure. And this has been done to us, not just by Tony Blair and Labour, but it's been done to us, above all, by a Conservative Party who lied through their teeth at every single general election. And our job now is to replace them as the opposition party in British politics, and that is what we are going to do. Because what can they say? The other week at the dispatch box, at PMQs, Kemi Badenoch said to the Prime Minister, isn't it terrible? Terrible that 1,100 jobs will be lost making vans at Luton. It's all because of your electric vehicle rules and targets and fines. To which Richard Tice heckled and said, but it's your policy in the first place. To which the Prime Minister said, yes. I mean, it's not often Starmer's that sharp, I got to tell you, but he was. And it's the same on net zero. It's the same. You know, why are our businesses paying the most expensive electricity bills in the world? Look what it's doing to our manufacturing sector. Look what it's doing to our competitiveness. Look at what has been put on all of your bills over the last 20 years to subsidize foreign companies putting up wind turbines, all manufactured in China, and the same goes for solar. They are a uni-party. The more they pretend to be different, the more you realize actually they're the same. They're about open borders. They're about high taxes. They're about regulation. And they're not about putting the British people first on anything. And we are. We will put the British people first. We know what our priorities are. But above all, what we need in this country is a change of culture. We are living in societal decline when nobody has the moral courage to stand up and do what is right for fear of being called names. The fact that the so-called grooming scandal, or should we call it the mass rape abomination, this is all back in the news. I don't know whether you've read online some of the accounts of what happened to girls as young as 11, 12, and 13 years old. If you haven't read the transcripts online, I advise you not to, because you frankly won't be able to go to sleep. What happened in this country, and it didn't just happen in one place, it wasn't just Oldham, it happened in towns and cities all over the United Kingdom on an industrial scale. And yet, mainstream media did their best not to cover it. Keir Starmer, it would appear, when he had the big job as Director of Public Prosecutions in 2008, chose not to prosecute a grooming mass rape case. The Conservative government did all they could for there not to be a public inquiry. And Jess Phillips this week decides there is no need for a public inquiry. And the police have failed in all of these towns and cities. They dare not say anything for fear of being. Our moral courage is destroying the very values upon which this once great country was built. And what we need is leadership and a party and a movement that understands and knows the difference between what is right and what is wrong, and will speak without fear, without favor. And let's have that public inquiry. Let's expose the truth. And let's make sure people in public life who allow this to happen get their jobs taken from them. It must happen. We face, of course, a number of obstacles. But the one obstacle we don't face is the talent of the opposition we face in the Labour and Conservative parties. That's the good news. We're not up against towering giants, but we have a huge amount of work to do. Here in the East Midlands, we have a whole series of elections happening right across the counties on the 1st of May. We even have some mayoral contests, and you heard from Dame Andrea earlier on today. The disappointment is she's got a sore throat. Otherwise, she would have sung Jerusalem from the stage, but that'll happen next time. So what we have to do, we have to organise, we have to mobilise, we have to professionalise. And that was why I appointed Zia 6 months ago, somebody to help me professionalise this party. And folks, we are making the most astonishing progress, but we need to make more. And we need you to help us doing that. And we've got some great new people joining us. And we've got a newbie who's joined us today. His name is Marco Longhi. He was the Conservative Member of Parliament for Dudley North from 2019 to 2024. And believe it or not, before being in Parliament, he actually had a job. No, really? Yeah, he actually had a job. He worked in business. He was successful. He'd been a loyal member of the Conservative Party for the last goodness knows how many years. Today, former MP Marco Longhi joins Reform UK. I want you to give him a big welcome on this stage. Okay. Brilliant. I'll leave it to you.
Conference, good evening. I am a patriot, and I finally feel at home. Why am I here? I am here because of each and every one of you. I am here because of what has happened to